On November 15th, 2024, tens of millions of people from all over the world logged into their Netflix accounts and streamed, or tried to stream, the highly anticipated boxing match between YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul and boxing legend Mike Tyson. The hype for this thing in the final days and weeks leading up to it was through the roof. And as someone who's never really been into boxing and knows Tyson more for his cameo in The Hangover than anything he ever did in the ring, I wasn't exactly counting down the seconds, but I knew I had to watch it. It was just one of those big cultural moments that you simply couldn't afford to miss. After sitting through other fights for hours and being exposed to Tyson's bare ass, we finally got what we had been waiting for. The fight did go the distance, but was far from the slugfest it had been hyped up to be. Paul completely overpowered Tyson, winning by unanimous decision. And Tyson, who at 58 years old had retired from professional boxing nearly 2 decades earlier and visibly struggled to stay on his feet, let alone land any real punches. Once it was over, Paul even admitted to going easy on Tyson, especially in the middle rounds, because he didn't want to seriously hurt him. And Tyson admitted he was dealing with a knee injury, which explains why he looked so stiff, besides, again, the whole being 58 years old thing. It was such a disappointing, almost embarrassing letdown that it left a lot of people, myself included, feeling like it was just a scripted, multi-million-dollar cash grab, even if the promoters deny it. Of course, deep down, most of us probably knew it was going to play out exactly the way it did, but it was understandable to be excited and morbidly curious to watch a nearly 60-year-old Tyson try to win one last fight against a boxer in his prime. It's like if Michael Jordan today, at 61 years old, suddenly wanted to come out of retirement and play one last game with the Bulls. You're telling me you wouldn't watch that if it was happening? Of course, that's not happening, but the Paul Tyson match did get me thinking about when something sort of like that actually did happen. And not only was it not disappointing, embarrassing, or anywhere near a cash grab, it was a genuinely impressive display of athletic talent by a man who was about as old as Tyson is today, facing off against someone half his age in the prime of his career. I'm talking, of course, about the time that actor and comedian Billy Crystal actually played for the Yankees. Before we go any further, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. Also leave a like if this is your kind of content. Plenty more videos like this are coming in 2025, and I can't wait to share them with you all. Thanks, and without further ado, let's get back to the video. So let's rewind and set the stage a bit first. Billy Crystal is one of the funniest people to ever live. Most of you watching this probably know him as the voice of Mike Wazowski in Monsters, Inc.
Mike Wazowski!
Yeah, sure, step aside, kid, we're in a...
Which, fun fact, was actually the first movie I ever saw in a theater. But born in 1948 to Jewish parents on the Upper East Side and raised in the Bronx and on Long Island, Billy Crystal is a New Yorker through and through. After graduating from Long Beach High School, he attended Marshall University in West Virginia on a baseball scholarship, but never played because the program was suspended during his freshman year. So he left Marshall, returning to New York to be closer to his future wife, attending Nassau Community College with her, and later transferring to NYU, where he was a film and television directing major. But his true calling was in front of the camera. He quickly became known as one of the best stand-up comics in the country, appearing on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, SNL, several game shows, and the Dean Martin celebrity roast of Muhammad Ali.
Oh, that's a lot of nonsense. I'm still so fast, and you know I'm so pretty. I'm so fast I can turn out the lights in my bedroom, be in the bed before the room gets dark.
In 1977, Crystal landed the role of Jody Dallas, one of the first openly gay characters on American television in the NBC sitcom Soap. In 1982, NBC gave him a variety show, which they canceled after just 5 episodes aired. In 1984, he was a regular cast member on season 10 of SNL, and from there, his career in Hollywood took off, as he starred in films like Running Scared, Memories of Me, Mr. Saturday Night, and of course, When Harry Met Sally and City Slickers, both of which earned him Golden Globe nominations. He was also in the criminally underrated Analyze This, in which he plays a psychiatrist who unwillingly takes on a mob boss as his patient, played by Robert De Niro.
I am here representing Mr. Paul Vitti as his consigliere. Never correct me in public again. Do you understand that? You broke my heart, Jelly. You broke my heart.
But speaking of award shows, he also hosted the Oscars 9 times between 1990 and 2012, and seriously needs to host it again. Like, come on guys, what are we doing? I am happy it's going to be Conan O'Brien this year though. That was an inspired choice. Crystal also did end up directing some films too, including 61. Released in 2001, it tells the true story of Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle racing to break Babe Ruth's single-season home run record in the summer of 1961. It was pretty well received by both critics and moviegoers, and praised for its impressive attention to detail, which makes sense because Crystal, a lifelong Yankees fan, poured his heart and soul into the project. He idolized Mantle growing up, and would later even become friends with him, so much so that when Mantle died in 1995, he co-wrote his eulogy with legendary baseball broadcaster Bob Costas. Crystal professed his love for the Yankees in countless talk show appearances over the years, including a very memorable one on Late Night with Conan O'Brien when he took him to Yankee Stadium. It is so funny. I'm going to play a few clips from it here, but please go check out the full segment. It's in the description.
Oh, yeah. Ow! Did you see that kid from Boston drop the ball?
Mr. Soft Hands.
What? It was right there. No, you did it all wrong.
Can you help me with the pronunciation?
That's a venereal disease, I believe.
Master Pasta.
Yeah. You don't want to get that.
Hey, look at this. Gum.
In the 90s and early 2000s, he was even occasionally invited by then Yankees manager Joe Torre to work out with the team when he was in New York or when the Yankees were in LA. So he was no stranger to the team when, while on a Christmas vacation in 2007, Crystal bumped into Derek Jeter at a resort in Costa Rica.
We're working out in the gym, and he goes, you look great. I go, yeah, I'm going to turn 60. He goes, really? He said, well, what would you like to do? Do something good. I said, you know what? You guys signed me to a one-day contract. I DH, whatever happens, happens, and I'll announce my retirement. I'll throw a big party for the team. What do you think? And he went, let's do this. This is great. The fans will love this.
And that brings us to 2008.
Jack is back! The king is black! Gives us awards, I'm glad to be back.
The year the MCU began. The year Barack Obama was elected president. The year Michael Phelps made the Olympics cool again. And the year my brothers and I were arguing over whose turn it was in Guitar Hero, while our parents argued in the other room about whether or not they'd be able to keep the house. 2008 was also a weird year for the Yankees, as they played their final season at the old Yankee Stadium and would end up missing the playoffs for the first time in more than a decade. But in the spring, anything was possible. And I mean, anything. With Major League Baseball's approval, the Yankees signed Billy Crystal to a one-day minor league contract, which Crystal later wrote in his memoir was for $4 million. But the nice part was that the Yankees gave him 3 days to come up with the money. He worked out with the team on March 12th, and then on March 13th, 2008, the day before his 60th birthday, it was time for his debut in pinstriped pants. Just the pants. The Yankees don't wear the pinstripe jerseys in spring training, really, at all, except for the first game. Anyway, according to MLB.com, new Yankees manager Joe Girardi presented Crystal with a number 60 jersey and told him he'd lead off and be the team's DH, to which he responded, "Designated Hebrew?" After batting practice, he ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with Jeter and Jorge Posada, then returned to his locker to discover that his shoelaces had been sliced, as well as the toes on his socks. Crystal took it in stride, realizing that his new teammates were hazing the oldest rookie in Major League history. The Yankees were playing the Pittsburgh Pirates in a sold-out spring training game televised on the YES Network. During the national anthem, Crystal said he felt a tear roll down his cheek as he looked into the stands to find his wife, his 2 brothers, and his daughter. His best friend, Robin Williams, was also in attendance. After future Hall of Famer Mike Mussina retired the side in the first inning, it was finally time for Billy Crystal to bat for the Yankees.
I got very emotional when I heard my name announced. I saw the crowd standing up. Because, I've been pretending to be a Yankee since I'm 7, 8 years old, and now I was one. And it was very emotional at first. And I had to, take a deep breath and look over at Jeter and realize this is really happening.
He'd be facing 25-year-old left-hander Paul Maholm, a former first-round pick and starting pitcher who already had 2 full seasons of Major League experience under his belt. Crystal wouldn't even have the benefit of facing a AAA or AA pitcher still figuring things out. And worst of all, Maholm was going to pitch to the nearly 60-year-old comedian the same way he would pitch to Alex Rodriguez. Crystal, a right-handed hitter, stepped up to the plate and took a 92-mile-per-hour fastball a little high and outside for ball 1. The mere act of standing in the box against a full-fledged MLB pitcher at not only 60 years old, but after not playing baseball with any sort of regularity for about 40 years, was enough of an accomplishment. But then, this happened. Crystal swung and chopped the ball the opposite way, just barely going foul down the right field line.
Somebody yelled, "Double," and I went, "Oh no," because if I get to second, I have to stop twice to pee.
Guys, he almost got a hit. He basically did get a hit against a pitcher throwing 90 miles an hour. I remember watching this live and I could not believe it. He's 76 now, but give him a few weeks and he'd probably have a higher batting average than Joey Gallo. Maholm then failed to find the strike zone on the next 2 pitches, putting Crystal ahead in the count 3-1. Being 5'7" probably helped with that, but still, incredible plate discipline. He then swung at the 3-1 pitch, and with a full count, here is how the at-bat came to an end.
And the 3-2. He struck him out. So Crystal works the count to 3-1 and then strikes out and waves to the crowd. And the crowd gives him a standing ovation. Well, the moment of a lifetime right there for Billy Crystal.
After the game, Crystal met with Maholm, who admitted that he really was giving it his all, and only because he wasn't told to do otherwise.
You're like 9 years old.
Close. Not that much older.
When were you born?
82.
Oh, thank you for competing like you did,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I was hoping you were going to come underhand, but no.
Nah, we'll see. If I had instruction before, I didn't know how you wanted to do it.
Oh, really? I mean, I could have called you?
You could have done, whatever you wanted.
I could have texted you?
Yeah.
Sure, you might say it was just a foul ball down the right field line on a lucky swing, but when you think about how hard it is for anyone to hit a baseball being thrown at 90 miles an hour, and then when you think about how Billy Crystal, of all people, managed to do it at 60 years old, it really was amazing to witness. And of course, it was even more amazing for Crystal himself.
It was the greatest thing ever. You mentioned the Oscars, the movies, those are all great, and I'm grateful. I can always say I led off a game for the New York Yankees, and that's phenomenal.
Every Yankees fan dreams of being a Yankee when they're a kid, and for one day, that dream came true in a magical, authentic moment for one of the biggest Yankees fans in the world, and someone who's given us so much to smile and laugh about over the years. And the best part is, this was no laughing matter, and I just think that's pretty cool. So hats off to you, Billy. Any chance you're interested in playing third base?